where will Cam go next? What is possible for Cam Newton next? Certainly not the time to be out there looking for a quarterback job, certainly if you want to be a starter. So where do you go? Certainly you're not winding up in the AFC East. That's not happening. Certainly you're not winding up in the AFC South. Steelers, Browns, Bengals, Ravens. Nope. You're going to wind up in the AFC South if you knock on the Texans' door, possibly. Would you do that? Would you do that? They already have Tyrod Taylor. I don't know if they're going to go in that direction. Also, they want to see what they have in Davis Mills, it appears. Mm-hmm. And anybody sitting here thinking Texans, just because the Texans are dreadful and horrible and terrible, Charles Robinson in hour number one, who's Yahoo Sports report about the Dolphins being front runners for the services of Deshaun Watson in a trade with the Texans, he was on in hour number one and said, based on his reporting, every team that the Texans were talking to in the last week plus about this, and that includes, as he mentioned, Carolina and the Eagles, the Texans had no interest in taking the other team's quarterback back. So if they're not taking Tua, Sam Darnold, or Jalen Hurts, why would they take Cam Newton just so he's knocking on the door? You're going to see a lot of, why not to the Texans? He's not going to Jacksonville, and he's not going to Indianapolis, and he's not going to Tennessee. Is he going anywhere in the AFC West? I mean, really? Where's he going? I mean, who's looking for a quarterback right now in the AFC West? That's not happening. All right, the NFC West, that's out. What do you think? Rams, Niners, Cardinals, Seattle. And again, he wants to be a starter here, okay? I don't know if he's going to have that opportunity. The one spot where you're going to hear about it, the AFC North, you're not going to Minnesota, you're not going to Chicago, and you're not going to Green Bay. In the South, you're not going to the Saints, you're not going to Tampa, you're not going to Carolina, where I don't know if he'll ever go back to Carolina, and you're not going to Atlanta. Where are you going to go? I'm looking at the NFC East. Oh. Would he possibly go to D.C. and knock on their door? And Ron Rivera, you know me, and Rivera did say in an interview last summer that, the reason why he was open to signing Cam, but the reason why is they wanted to see what they had in Dwayne Haskins. Could he have been a nice guy? I'm thinking he might have been, because the guy, as we all know, started Kyle Allen over Cam in 2019 and then signed Kyle Allen when he showed up in D.C. and actually was ready to give him the reins once they took him away from Dwayne Haskins, but then he got hurt and eventually turned to Alex Smith in a manner that we all know that wasn't plan A or even plan B or even a plan for him, according to Alex Smith. Do you go there with Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick and say, I'm here too, and DC comes up and says we're interested? I don't see that either.
Carol Heineke's probably better than Cam at this point.
Here's where I think he's most likely to wind up if he's into the idea.
Oh, Jesus. I mean,
Dallas. Why wouldn't they say yes to Cam Newton being on their team? Even with last year in their mind's eye and having seen what happens to this team if Dak goes down, even with all of that, right now, as we're talking, right now as we are conversing,
yes,
they are ready to go into Tampa Bay with that defense that chased Patrick Mahomes everywhere on that turf and got Kansas City to say, first order of business, what we're doing is we're redoing our offensive line. Right, yep. That defense is going to show up against Dallas And against that defense, Dallas, as we're talking, is ready to have Cooper Rush be their safety net. Really? We're checking on
Why do you
doctors. No, seriously, we're checking in with doctors of baseball teams just a few weeks ago, and then there's MRIs that are precautionary, and there's nothing to see here. Move along. It's not a pick.
No.
We're ready to go into the season with Cooper Rush, really. And Cam Newton is now sitting out there. Really?
Why do you do this to me?
Why? Because this makes total, complete sense.
It does.
Unless Cam wanted his release from New England because he thought he wasn't going to get the opportunity to start there, which he would not get in Dallas short of another significant injury to the quarterback. But if Dak's coming back from that injury last year and already has nothing to see here arm situation, won't even call it injury. I'll do you a favor and call it a situation. Why wouldn't you go and get Cam?
Can I ask you a question?
And put him in as the backup?
I'll be that.
Yes, TJ
I'll
Jefferson.
raise my
You're
hand.
raising your hand, and I will.
Rich, two things. One, Uncle Jerry, right? You are fond of saying that Cam lost his job because he didn't want to get vaccinated. Well, Uncle Jerry
I'm not
has.
fond. By the way,
Well, I don't want.
no. I am not fond of saying it.
Allow me to correct
Two,
myself.
I did not say he lost his job because he was unvaccinated. Actually, what I've said now, not once but twice on this show, is that I think he asked for his release because Belichick's not going to come and say he's working in the right direction just because he's being coy and making these funny little Easter eggs for all of us to find later.
Okay, so
something is up. So
allow me to correct myself.
Please,
yes,
please make sure that
I'll rephrase what I
Correct.
said. But Jerry has come out and said that he's for players being vaxxed. And if we say that Cam didn't get vaxxed, then I'm thinking that Jerry probably wouldn't bring Cam in because he's already made a stand. And another thing is, if we were going to go choose a backup, I think that maybe going and getting a Nick Foles might not be a bad idea.
you got to trade for him. You got to give up something for him.
Well,
this is the
like
guy
what?
who
How much?
You just signed and say, if you want to come to the Dallas Cowboys right now, take the jab. Hashtag take the jab.
Well, you can't.
You can't force him to say that, but you could basically say, yeah, we're not. You could tell the agent,
You can get
thank you, but not. You know, we're focusing on players who are vaccinated.
We get Foles for a 5th rounder or something like that. I'm sure.
5th rounders turn into Richard Sherman, brother.
Not very often.
5th rounders turn. I mean, we could go down a list here. I'd rather sign somebody than just get a. I'll just say this: you haven't given me a real reason why you can't just Cooper Rush, bro.
Sure, because
Now, once again, yesterday, and we'll get to the AFC East prediction shortly and your phone calls in a second. Yesterday, I was the only guy here who didn't say Dallas was winning the NFC East, because everybody here thinks they're back because Dak's back. Because Dak's back. Because Dak's back. And I'm like, I need to see the defense before buying a Dak's back. But guess what? If Dak's on his back, Cooper Rush puts all three of you guys out of business. With all due respect. Sure, he's a nice guy, right? I mean, that's the new
He's a
phrase.
nice guy. I'm sure he's nice.
we also forget last year
Come on now.
Tyron Smith didn't play and Lyle Collins didn't play.
Okay.
That whole line, there was 2 starters that we had
can
the
go
entire
back.
year.
So you would not want Cam like if Cam Newton was signed by Dallas, you would have the same reaction as Chris Brockman had when New England drafted Mac Jones back in May.
I would say, why sign Cam if he wasn't good enough to play for Bill Belichick?
He's not
Then
good enough to
why
play
are-
for Belichick. Bill Belichick was absolutely fine with him playing for the New England
Yeah, as a
Patriots.
backup.
Correct. And I'm not saying
As a
sit
backup.
Dak.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not sitting
saying
Dak.
you got to have a
But
better
okay, Rich, but
safety
you're
net
also
than-
saying, let's say Mac Jones gets hurt, then Cam would have been your starter. So if Bill thought that highly of Cam, he'd be like, well, I'm going to talk you into
unless
staying.
Cam asked for his release.
Yeah, but we don't know that yet. We're speculating.
Guys.
Look, Brockman's got Mac Jones. He's
Cam's
happy.
going to the Lakers. Like, come on.
all right,
That's true. Good point, Brockman.
Good button, Chris.
Hey,
That's what we call in the business a button.
good point, Brockman.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.